So here's a short story about a husband and father who's now kicking his wife to the curb after 13 years of marriage because the other day she informed him that she thinks about women all the time and wants to go have fun with them. But of course, remaining in the marriage. And it's not cheating because according to her, because it's women, it doesn't count. It doesn't count as cheating. And our guy, obviously, in the end, ain't having it. And she's toast. And I thought it'd be a good one to go over here, guys, really hitting home the fact that I've said this before in a lot of videos, that be very careful for you relationship guys if you get involved with a gal who's into women as well. You know, she swings both ways. I'm going to, no problem, no judgment in terms of people's lifestyles in that regard. But if you get in a relationship with them, it's possible that they're with you as a guy, they like dudes, and it's easier for them to be in a relationship with you versus a gal. But there could always be that thing in the back of their mind that they're missing the gals. And one day it could be a problem for your relationship. And I've covered stories like this, just have a gal that's only into guys, end of story. And in this story here, perfect example. And how it's also very interesting how these types, when a lot of gals, they propose open relationship, open marriages, they try to find loopholes and things to get away with things. And in this situation here, she claims that by her having fun with girls while still being married to him and having him provide for her and all, it's not cheating. Well, newsflash, getting involved with anybody is cheating if you are supposed to be in a committed relationship or a marriage. And never ever fall for that. But it's amazing how these people justify these things. Titled, me and my wife had a talk and she wants to explore her bi side. And a shout to Nick for sending in the story. And he says, we've been together for 20 years and married for 13. He's 47 and she's 39. So there's a big age gap between them. When they got together, she was like 19, he was 26 or something like that, I think. Oh, no, actually, no, I'm wrong, older than that. Well, we have 4 kids. I know she had experimented with girls before we met, and I was okay with that. Smack! I got no problem with you being okay with that before you got married. But you married her knowing that she was into girls. That ain't going to go away, dude, and it's going to come back to bite you. And here it is now. Last night she told me that she thinks about being with women a lot lately, and wants to explore that more. Making my point. She says it's a part of her and realizes it's important to her. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with it and consider it cheating. She says it's not cheating because it's with a woman or with women. Bull crap. Okay, fine. What if he says to her, okay, honey, I think about women too. There's some hotties in my gym, hotties that I see at the local coffee shop I go to every day. So how about I go have fun with them too, because it's not cheating, it's women. She would have been, no, it's cheating. Oh, okay. So in her mind, if he hooked up with other dudes, that'd be okay? No. She wants to open the relationship. That's what really this is for her. A one-sided open relationship. I admittedly told her a few years back that I have thought about her being with a woman and found it a turn-on. Smack! Gee, way to encourage her. Most guys think about that usually with a girlfriend or some point in their lives, but that's never really a good idea if you really put it into practice. It was more of a fantasy I had, but I love her and don't want to lose her. Smack! You already did, brother. And feel that if I let her explore, it'll be end in heartache and problems. How do I navigate this problem? Thanks in advance for your advice. Now, we're not done, because we have the updates soon. Well, he posted that. And as you can imagine, the smart people from Reddit came out of the woodwork, and they definitely gave him a dose of reality. And then he woke up. His update. He says, so thank everyone for the advice and suggestions. It's been a few months now since my post, and after a lot of good talking, we both realized we are on completely different paths. You think? She wants to move close to the city to be near her friends and dance classes, where I want to move out onto some acreage and raise the kids. So notice it's all about her. Close to the city. A lot of, I don't know, how can I put this? Things are more likely to involve sin, if you will, in the city than out in the suburbs, in the rural, but don't fool yourself. Plenty of things going out in the rural area. And she's thinking about her, not the kids. We have decided to divorce. Probably more like you decided to divorce. To those who said my marriage was cooked, I didn't want to hear at the time, but it was correct. Truth be told, I've been unhappy with her for a while. But I wanted to make the marriage work for the kids and because I believe any problem can be worked out. No, not any problem can be worked out. If she is into women and wants to hook up with them, That's a problem that can't be worked out, dude. And I wish you had known this years before. But then again, you got the 4 kids out of her. We're assuming those kids are his. And by the way, how do you know that it actually is not about women? She's just saying that to get a free pass. Meanwhile, she's having fun with Chad and Tyrone. It's a fair question. She's been a great mom to our kids, but honestly, hasn't been a good wife for a very long time. We had a talk and decided to separate on the day of our 14th anniversary. Ouch. Doesn't sound like a very good mom to me if she's willing to throw it all away so she can get some side ass or side hoo-ha. That doesn't sound like a very... And move closer to the city. And I think he said in the comments, I think LA, that in and itself, really going to do that for your kids? Doesn't sound like a good mom to me. As for the whole I want to explore my bi side thing, she talked about she hasn't had the opportunity to hook up with a girl yet, but I'm sure it's coming. I honestly don't care what she does anymore as long as it doesn't affect our kids. Dude, if she's bringing it up, I guarantee you she has somebody in mind. If she isn't already hooking up, I bet you if you got a hold of her phone ahead of time, you would have seen clear evidence of that. People don't bring up opening up the marriage, and that's what she was doing, unless already they're physically involved or they have somebody in mind. That just seems to be almost be always thing. And this does affect your kids. I felt relieved and very positive for my own future. I've been hitting the gym and hustling to make more money and never felt better. Well, great, dude. This is a great way to start it. You're in your late 30s. You know, you're young. We've had talks that are brutally honest, and our communication has been better than ever. For now, we still live together until she finishes school and gets a job. I'll keep you all updated if there's anything worth updating about. Good Lord Almighty. So how long until she's out with whomever? I'd really love to know if it's going to end up being not Jessica or Brenda. It's actually going to be Joe and Beverly. Joe and Brad. But we shall see. But the point of the whole thing, guys, is you're a relationship guy, you find out the girl you're involved with is, oh, by the way, yeah, I used to have fun with girls back in the day, but I'm done all that now. I would be very careful with that because if they're attracted, they're attracted. Okay, fine. But that could be a problem for you, as you see right here. You know, that later on, an itch that needs to be scratched. Again, us guys that are in relationships, sure, they find the women attractive. Doesn't mean they're going to go do something about it because they made a commitment to the gal they married. But we're in Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0, and if she wants to move closer to the city, and if it's Los Angeles, and for some reason I think that is, yeah, not good. But anyhow, there you go, guys. Now, a few comments before I wrap this up. One guy says, you can tell her this comment, you can tell her she's free to lick all the that she wants and hand her divorce papers. He says, look, dude, whenever a partner comes to you and says they are thinking they might want to do something that breaks your marriage vows, it means they already have done it and want retroactive permission. You are being played, don't be a chump. Obviously, that's a guy that said that before he did his update here. And our guy said, that is what I fear, but I really don't think it happened yet, due to the fact that she's never out and away from the kids and me. Smack! They find a way. She could be climbing out the window in the middle of the night for all you know. I mean, look, us guys, it's amazing what we do for hoo-ha, and clearly it wouldn't surprise any of us what they might do for some hoo-ha. You never know. This is from a woman. She says, I'm a bi woman who's been in a decently long relationship. Sure, I love to do things with women, even effing dream about it. But at the end of the day, I chose my partner, my boyfriend, because he's the one for me. She's just using her bisexuality as an excuse to cheat, so that's effing bullshit. Well, I'm glad you chimed in, honey. Doesn't mean that this gal who just wrote that isn't going to, the urges take over down the road. But I'm glad she's being true to her man now. I'm glad she chimed in. And one more. This guy says, if she wants to explore her bi side, then she already has a partner in mind. She wants to stay in the marriage and just cheat with other women. You navigate this by deciding if this is the kind of marriage you want to remain in. And if you want your children to see that cheating, any form of cheating, is what relationships are supposed to be about. I'm not in your situation, but divorce would be a no-brainer. However, if you're comfortable with your wife cheating, then go for it. There are more comments, but you guys get the point. But this is going to affect the kids no matter what. But frankly, it's better they divorce and part ways on a friendly terms, if you will, than her having an open marriage and him being miserable and them fighting about it. And oh, by the way, I didn't mention this earlier, but and he didn't mention it earlier, I'd like to know what their bedroom life is like. Probably not too good. You know, I can only begin to imagine what it's like when they actually get together, let alone how often that may be, you know. But back to the kids, you don't want the kids seeing the parents in a situation like that and obviously knowing where she's going. It's going to really mess them up. It's better they part ways. He can be happy again because you say he hasn't been happy in a long time. And at least they can have one parent that's behaving like a good parent instead of just running around out like a teenager every freaking night, which sounds like what she's going to do. But this may not be over. And for all you know, she'll be begging him back down the road. And we'll see what he may do.